Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome to another video. We're here to talk about Outriders again, and probably judging by the title, we've got a few complaints. So, we're going to cover three topics today: loot, gameplay, and mobs. Broadly speaking, we're just going to talk about how loot not how loot works, but what loot you get and why it's not as customizable as I feel like it should be. Gameplay is just going to involve talking about a few fundamental mechanics that I feel like should be a part of the game. And the mobs is a bigger topic where I'm going to talk about my big displeasure about beast types and a few tweaks to the humanoids. So let's get into it. Firstly, we're going to be talking about loot. And the first topic about that is the legendaries, right? This is not a big topic because I don't really have too much of a problem with it, because getting legendaries is obviously a important part about a looter shooter, but getting legendaries, at least in my experience, obviously this is all my personal experience, I haven't been getting much variety. And to explain, I've gotten like many duplicates. So like I think I've gotten 4 to 5 migraines, the submachine gun. I've gotten, I know, 3 to 4 land lovers. I think I've gotten 2 or 3 torturer's wastes for the pyromancer. So you're getting extreme amounts of duplicates. It just kind of feels terrible. And I don't know if there's, my kind of instinct tells me that there should be like a system implemented to, let's say you get this one legendary torture's waste, you like the chances of getting torture's waste again is like greatly reduced until you get another legendary that isn't torture's waste, and then torture's, that one legendary that you just got, takes over that low percentage. And that could be like for each piece of gear, right? So you can have that for like chest, waist, helmet, hands, feet, main gun, offhand, right? So that's my only issue with the legendary system. The second loot part is the mods. So this one is a bit more kind of iffy about. When you get a gun, let's say you get a really nice gun, it's got perfect attributes, but it just doesn't have any single good mod. Well, what goes through your head at that point is, okay, I can change one of the mods to be what I want, but then that second mod will always be holding you back. So what I'm getting at here is not being able to change that second mod. Now, the reason I think that causes a problem is because you can't it's not that you can't reach the peak of like min-maxing, but it's just a lot more difficult and a lot more time consuming and RNG based to reach the very peak of like min-maxing. So a thing that I would suggest implementing here is, in my opinion, a very quick fix of that second mod. So let's say you change the first mod, it costs iron. That one mod always will cost iron, but as soon as you change the second mod, that second mod will then cost you not, let's say, now I'm going to be quite heavy on the cost here because it is the peak of min-maxing. Instead of just costing, let's say, double or triple iron or even like leather, it would cost you, like, depending on your tier of expeditions and depending on your like progress through the game, it will cost different things, but it will always cost titanium. I think I feel like it should always cost titanium. And on top of that, like depending on your tier level, when you get to expeditions, it should cost you a certain amount of drop pod resources. So as an example, at T15s, it would cost you like 20 to 40,000 drop pod resources, right? That, as an example, maybe at 12 it would cost you like 10k or 8k or something like that. But that's just an example. I feel like that would solve a lot of the, not problems, but a lot of the, it would reduce RNG like behavior, and like, in a sense, it would just make it a lot more, generally player friendly if there was a cost to making your weapons even stronger, instead of leaving it all up to RNG. Like every part of it right now is all up to RNG. Next topic is attributes. I'm not too fussy about this one. This is just the one that I just thought off the top of my head. Snipers shouldn't be able to get weapon leech. Shotguns shouldn't be able to get long range damage. That general thing. Some weapon types shouldn't be able to get certain stats. That's really the only point of this. There's no point in a sniper having weapon leech. It doesn't really mean much. And a shotgun long range damage, no, it doesn't make sense. Moving on to the second whole topic is gameplay. And my big thing with gameplay is these three categories are all three crucial. The first one is the dodge. Now this one blows my mind. I'm so unfathomably confused about this one. Why isn't there an invulnerability, an iframe, whatever you want to call it, in the dodge? Why am I dodging but not actually dodging? Even if you get the mod that makes it so you phase through enemies, which it just makes your dodge, instead of like a roll, it makes it into kind of this like phasing teleport thing. Even when you have that, you're not invulnerable. You phase through enemies, yes, but you don't actually go invulnerable. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they wouldn't add that. It's kind of like a fundamental mechanic of dodging. That's like, I don't think I've ever played a game before that has had like the no invulnerability in the dodge. And it's quite mind-boggling that that's a thing. Second one is this is up and down, depends on how you feel about it, but there's no jump in the game. I feel like if they had a jump, the game would feel a lot... what's the word here? Kind of... You know, you would have something to press space. Like, currently, your finger's resting on the space bar, but you're not pressing space. I just feel like if they added a jump, it would add kind of a different level of playstyle and a different level of skill in terms of doing certain things, because you can jump off ledges onto different parts of the map. You can get to certain places, and maybe not... You might, yeah, obviously, if they added it now, it might break the game in some places, get to places that you shouldn't be, kill mobs unfairly. Obviously, that's a possibility, but that's obviously fixable in the future, and adding a jump would add more kind of free gameplay kind of styles, and kind of open the game up a bit more than not having a jump, in my honest opinion. Third one is a minor feeling, or a minor topic, depending on how you feel about the whole thing in general, but the game just kind of feels clunky with how the mobs collide with you, and then you dodge, and then you run into certain parts of the map. The terrain isn't smooth at 100%. When you fall off a ledge, the fall doesn't really feel fluid. You kind of fall in like a exponential graph kind of motion onto the ground, and then you do like a superhero like landing for some reason, instead of like doing like a somersault or a roll. I don't know why. Like, obviously not a somersault or roll off every height, but like at certain heights you should definitely. So just generally the game with the character when colliding with the mobs and the terrain just feels real clunky, like just clunk city. Like you're collision, you're getting cornered, you have to do this. You try to run up a ramp, the ramp has too many like weird edges that you can't run up it. It's just kind of just general clunkiness, and it kind of just... I wouldn't say ruin, but kind of makes the game experience kind of mediocre. That's really all it is for gameplay though now. So now I'm going to get onto the bigger topic here and have a bit more to say about this topic. And it's the mobs, the enemies. The enemies that you're fighting piss me off to no end. And, you know, it's not that they just piss me off. Obviously everyone gets mad at certain things. But just fundamentally, or just logically, they don't make sense as to why they act this way when whatever, or like with everything else that's happening to you in the expedition or in the zone that you're in. The monsters behaving in this certain way doesn't make sense, or isn't fair at some points. And so first we're going to talk about the beasts, the monsters that you interact, the small crawly boys, the big leapers. You got the brood mothers. I can't remember their names. Alpha Porphyros, you got the normal Porphyros, I think they're called. You got the small Hulkers, you got, you know, all these different mobs. The fundamental problem is that you can get swarmed within seconds, within milliseconds even. Let's take Archways of Enoch, which I think is the clip that's going to be playing whilst I'm talking about this. Is it in the second room? You're defending a pylon. In that room, you're one of the waves is like, I think about six Alpha Porphyros. That is not a very fair matchup for really anyone but the Devastator, and even then we're pushing the limits, right? Because the first attack by an Alpha Porphyro is always a leap. Unless it's stunned, it's always a leap. And if it gets stunned, its first attack after the stun is not a leap, but a lunge, which the difference there would be instead of jumping through the air, he kind of like skids across the air at you. So regardless of what you do to him, you will always be hit, stunned, knocked, anything. He'll always leap at you and hit you, and it's quite frustrating because there's nothing to avoid it because there's no invulnerability dodge. On top of that, their attack doesn't stop there. If they lunge at you and hit you, they will they'll chain hit you. So they'll leap at you, you'll get staggered, then they swipe you twice, you're dead. There's no argument. You get hit by one, you get hit by all. And there's a fundamental problem with this because I could have added this to the gameplay, this part that I'm going to suggest, but adding a hit grace period. When you take 50% of your HP in a single hit, or like let's say 70, you can't get hit for let's say 1 or 0.5 seconds. You just cannot get hit. 1 second would be a bit more helpful because that's a bit more time to like get away or stun them. But any amount of time grace period would be muchly appreciated because you just avoiding 2 attacks of 50 to 70% of your health within fractions of a second is near impossible. I won't say impossible because nothing's really impossible, but it is goddamn near impossible. But this is just the alpha pharaohs. When you look at the broodmothers, some zones have 2 broodmothers. You know, you got Marshland Caverns. That place has 2 broodmothers. You fight them. Quite frustrating. You look at another mob, the crawlers. The crawlers don't make any sense. So you have their beam attack, their frontal upwards beam. Why does it go across the map? Nobody knows, but we'll accept that. It's not their worst attack. Then you have their frontal cone. Again, their best attack, in my opinion. And then you have overload, where they send out waves of whatever the hell it is. They send out waves of it in kind of like a segmented pattern. And it goes up walls, through walls, around things. It goes through the map. You pretty much can't be in line with it or you'll get hit with it. But you can be above a ledge, like above the crawler, it will hit you still. Why? This makes no sense. Like, this is a fundamental problem. You can't escape that attack if you're in that same kind of axis line with it. It just doesn't make sense. Another mob, the Strix, the flying kind of like a dragonfly thing. Why? Like, it aimbots you. The same thing with the poison boys, the small poison boys that you shoot from the ground. When they shoot the poison at you, it aimbots you. It predicts where you're going. I understand prediction, but if I'm full sprinting or like away from them, like kind of like on an angle, like perpendicular, parallel rather. If I'm sprinting parallel to them, full speed, I should not get hit at all because I'm not attacking. I'm doing a full dodging kind of maneuver. I'm still getting hit because they predict where you're going. So the only way to really dodge them is to zigzag. So it shoots left, right, and then you're dodging. But even then, because you have to take into consideration that you're not only fighting them in the map, you can't zigzag. Because when you start zigzagging, you're standing pretty much in one spot. And you're going to get hit by, you know, the pharaohs, the alpha pharaohs, the crawlers. You're going to get hit by all of that whilst you're trying to just deal with one Strix. Bear in mind, you're barely ever fighting just one Strix. You're always almost fighting 2 to 4. If we take Archways of Enoch, you're fighting 4 twice. So the mob matchup with the mob design does not complement each other. Because even at the end of Archways of Enoch, when you're fighting those 4 Strixes, you're fighting 4 Strix with 2... I can't quite remember their name, but they're the big hulking boys. You fight 2 of them. You're fighting 2 of those. You're fighting 20 Pharaohs. You're fighting 4 Strixes. And none of it really complements each other because you stop moving, the big crawly boys will come and slam you. You get slammed, you die. You start running, the Strixes will predict where you're going, poison you to death, okay? You stand still as well. Let's say you run away a bit around a corner. The Pharaohs will probably swarm you. You'll have to deal with them. The Strixes hit you, you die. So I'm quite heated about this topic because the beasts have pissed me off to no end. And I think actually in the run that I do, that's playing right now, I actually failed the run. Due to just, I don't know, actually really know why. I think I just died to some random hit that I didn't even know was happening. But again, the monsters don't complement each other in any way. If you look at, I'd say, any mob that's done right, it's... I really can't, I really, out of the beasts, I can't really think of a mob that's done right. Maybe the small hulking boys. The very small ones, they're kind of like the beefier crawlers, but they're the small versions. Maybe they're done right because, you know, they just run around and they kind of like they dodge here and there, and then they send out a beam of either fire or poison, right? Or like a ground thing of fire and poison. That's the only enemy I can say that would ever be kind of the closest thing to fair, because they don't really swarm you. And when they do swarm you, it's like one or two of them. And when they go to hit you, they obviously can all hit you at the same time with the poison ground crap. But, it's not as bad as, let's say, four Alpha Pharaohs jumping you and absolutely destroying you. It's not as bad. Now, with the beasts out of the way, obviously, the only kind of heated topic that I have with the mobs, the beasts annoy me and piss me off to no end, and I definitely think that within the next few balance patches and fixes, that the beasts should be 100% nerfed in some way. Maybe density would kind of make the expeditions a bit more redundant, because there's less of them, so it's easier, because even now they're not quite that difficult. But that's besides the point. Whatever the fix is, the beasts need the biggest fix. Onto the humanoids, there's just a minor thing that I wanted to speak with the humanoids. With the humanoids, all the humanoids are pretty much as balanced as is. The only time that it really ever gets annoying or kind of frustrating is when you're fighting anyone that can do some sort of artillery strike. So you're talking about the cremators, you're talking about the spotters, you're talking about the anomaly barrages from the captains. When these start happening, even the grid detonation from Dr. Detonator in Boomtown, when you start taking these things into consideration, and you look at them, the cremators, I think it's called mortar shells or something like that. But when you look at him and he does it, the AoE that can hit you is bigger than the actual telegraph on the ground. Why that is, I don't know. I really have zero clue as to why the actual hit radius of it is bigger than the telegraph. I'm confused to no end. This makes absolutely no sense. It pisses me off every time I do front line. If you look at the artillery strike should is kind of balanced, because not all of them come down at the same time, so it's not that bad. Anomaly volley, obviously also not as bad as other things, but it's quite frustrating the way that they've done these kind of aerial strike telegraphs, because how it works is it's again that predictive targeting kind of mechanic that they've implemented. The same thing with the Strix's poison. It predicts where you're going and puts it there. That doesn't help anyone, and obviously it's not meant to help us, but it doesn't work well when you've got limited space to run in. And you could obviously say your positioning needs to be better. No, there's nowhere else I can really be in certain maps. Like let's take Stronghold, the other PAX mission that you have to use drop pod resources. The second zone, you've got a balcony. If I go back, I'm going away from the enemies and losing DPS. If I go forward, I'm going into frontline fire. I'm probably going to die. So, saying that bad positioning is not, you have to be better at it, is kind of wrong and kind of redundant. You have to be where you are. And just how it should target you is it lands it on you, and then you can just move out of it. So let's say if you're too preoccupied with doing something, you might get hit. But if you're focused and you're looking at what's on the ground, you can easily avoid it and dodge it. And obviously with the radius of the telegraph and it being bigger than it, that is just a fundamental problem and instantly needs to be fixed. I'll be very adamant about this on my streams and all that. There we go. That's the rant. That's the rant over and done with. I've over the past 2 weeks, I've pretty much played this game every day, and these things have annoyed me to no end. The no invulnerability dodge, all the beast stuff, a bit of the humanoid stuff, all the loot stuff is not that as big as a problem as the other stuff, but still, it definitely adds up. But yeah, I hope this video has informed others of these problems here and there. I hope it's helped you see what I'm experiencing, and if you're also experiencing these types of things, definitely leave a comment about it. I'll be sure to read it, reply, see what we can do, see what we can say. Obviously the game's still 2 weeks, only 2 weeks in, so they haven't even had their, I think they only today had their second patch, so obviously, not expecting huge things, but them acknowledging and then them understanding, the dev team, acknowledging, understanding, and taking into consideration ideas would definitely be a huge help in terms of mob design and gameplay. But that will be it for this video. It's been going on a rant for 20 minutes, takes it out of you. But I appreciate all the support to everyone. Thanks for watching. To see more of me, you can follow me on my Twitter, twitter.com/Vanessence, or twitch.tv/Vanessence for my Twitch streams. I almost stream every day, and I'll be live, a few hours after this video goes live. Anyway, thanks if you made it this far. Thanks for watching. Much really appreciated. Like, comment, and subscribe if you wish. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.